Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Firstly, to all my brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We come to the next session, the 13th session of reflecting on the 99 or reflecting on the 9 names of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, the names of Allah Azza wa Jal are more than these 99. I want you to know that more than these 99 are the names of Allah. These 99 names of Allah, they come in one particular hadith in Tirmidhi. Otherwise, I think the scholars have, between the Quran and the Sunnah, they've recorded more than 200 names, over 200 names of Allah Azza wa Jal. So many different names Allah has. But because of the uniqueness of having these 99 names in one particular hadith, they've been mentioned. So you can call Allah Azza wa Jal with many other names outside of these 99 names that have been found in the Quran and Sunnah. And there are many. For example, Ya Hannan, Ya Mannan. The name of Hannan and Mannan. Meaning that, and it's come in various ahadith, where Allah Azza wa Jal, it means that he has Hanana, meaning that, and he has Man. So manna in Arabic means that he favors. So one who actually favors his servants, and the other one where Allah Azza wa Jalla he's affectionate towards his servants, very affectionate towards his servants, and he favors his servants. Now these names also mean that Allah Azza wa Jalla, he turns to his servants before they turn to him, and he turns to his servants after they turn to him. That is one of the meanings that the ulama have given. So besides these names, you can find many other names, and we can call Allah Azza wa Jalla through these names. And don't forget, look, all these things that we've got are a means of our closeness to Allah. So whether it's ibadah, whether it's worship, whether it's dhikr, whether it's dua, whether it's tilawa, whether it's reciting the Quran, whether it's giving sadaqah, whether it's just remembering Allah, just sitting down, whether it's remembering Allah in salah, whether it's our different forms of ways of calling Allah, different ahadith, different du'as from the Quran, the Rabbana du'as from the Quran, whether it's the du'as that are from the Prophet ﷺ, or simply us going through the 99 names. All of these are many different ways of getting close to Allah Azza wa Jalla, and they all should be combined. The beautiful thing is that if you can combine all of these things, so if you're using the Asma'ullah al-Husna, if you're calling Allah, for example, if somebody is saying Ya Basitu, Ya Basitu, Ya Basitu, they want expansion, okay? Or Ya Wasi'u, they want expansion, or they want Allah to give them more wealth, okay? Or Ya Razzaqu. One good way of combining with this name is for you to add another couple of things to it. And I'm going to give you this advice, and this advice will help you a lot, inshallah. See, what we find in many ahadith, even in the Quran, we find that a precedence to getting too close to Allah Azza wa Jal. So if before you get close to Allah Azza wa Jal, one thing that is really important is istighfar. Fastaghfiru wa tubu ilayh, as the messenger said, that seek forgiveness from Allah and return back to him. Meaning that when we seek forgiveness from Allah Azza wa Jal, it removes the barriers and it removes the blockage that we've got between our heart and Allah Azza wa Jal. That's the main thing. It removes that blockage inside the heart. So we want to not only say istighfar, but the second thing I'm going to say to you is to send salawat on the Prophet ﷺ, or some people call it durood or salawat, whichever one you want to call it. It's basically sending salutations on the Prophet ﷺ. So for us, why am I saying these two things? Why? Because istighfar or seeking forgiveness from Allah Azza wa Jal, it removes those blockages, like I said, okay? So it paves the path. Like it's like cleaning the pathway ahead of you to get close to Allah Azza wa Jal. And what salawat does, see, sending salawat on the Prophet ﷺ, it has a special effect. What this does is, look, you send salawat on the Prophet ﷺ, and that salawat or that durood or those salutations, they're collected by the angels according to hadith, and they're taken to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will then reply back to us. So we send salawat, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam replies back. We send salawat, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam replies back to us. Now, what happens is, when you've sent excessive amount of salawat. So I'm saying, look, let's say, for example, somebody wants expansion in their wealth. So they're saying, Ya Razzaqu, or Ya Basitu, Ya Wasi'u, Ya Razzaqu, Ya Razzaqu, Ya Basitu, Ya Wasi'u. They're combining these names. Now, this is just up to you. Look, it's up to you what names you want to use, but whatever name you find closest to whatever thing you want, you use that name. Okay, so this person has combined Ya Razzaqu, Ya Basitu, Ya Wasi'u, and he's calling Allah. At the same time, what he's doing is he's saying Astaghfirullah alladhi. So let me give you a demonstration, a very good, what you want to do is you want to bring it from the heart. So Astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illa hu Al-Hayy and Al-Qayyum Al-Hayy and Al-Qayyum wa atubu ilayhi ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. So you want to say it in a way that is like a person who's literally a beggar, one who is broken down, one who is in need, okay? And with that, when you say, Ya Razzaqu, Ya Razzaqu, Ya Razzaqu, Ya Razzaq, and then Ya Wasi'u or Ya Basitu, you say those names, and then you want to say the salawat on Prophet Sallallahu ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallam. So you want to send the salawat on Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So what's happening is you got like a triple effect going on. So one is that you are seeking forgiveness from Allah for your sins to be removed. Okay, that's good. That's paving the pathway. Second is you're calling Allah, oh Allah, oh Allah, Ya Razzaqu, Ya Razzaqu. And the third thing is you're sending excessive salawat on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So what happens after a while is this, that when you send excessive salawat on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then we're getting his salams back. That's definite, and we're also getting the rahmah from Allah, 10 mercies from Allah each time we send one salawat or one durood on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then there comes a point when in the ghaib, in the unseen, okay, the fact that we have sent so much salawat and excessive salawat on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who is the most beloved to Allah Azza wa Jal, the fact that we've done that, Allah's going to shower His mercy onto us like no other. Because there's a combination that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself is sending so much salam on us. He's sending salam on us. Allah is sending His rahmah on us. Can you see the combination here? Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is saying salam back to you. He's saying salam back to you. He's saying salam back to you. Salam means peace. He's saying, oh Allah, salam, oh one who is of peace, give this person peace. That's what as-salam means. When we've said assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, when we've sent salam to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is also saying salam back, what he's saying is that he's sending a dua for us. He's saying, oh, one who is the most peaceful one, send peace to so-and-so. And at the same time, the hadith says that when we send salawat in the Prophet ﷺ once, we get 10 times Allah's mercy. Okay, so we're getting showered by His mercy. And in between all of that, we're saying, Ya Razzaq, Ya Razzaq, or one who is, or one who provides, Ya Wasi'u, or one who expands, Ya Basitu. Oh Allah, I'm asking you to expand for me, my rizq and so on. Can you see what you're doing right now? So you're getting rid of your sins, you're removing the blockage of your heart, you're making your heart something that can get close to Allah. At the same time, you're asking Allah, whichever name might be, like yesterday I said to you, Ya Qawiyyu, maybe you've got a back pain, okay? Ya Qawiyyu, Ya Matinu, Ya Qawiyyu, Ya Matinu. And then you're getting rid of your sins, and then also you're sending salawat on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and each one you're combining again and again, and you're saying it as many times as you can. You know what you're doing? You're making a triple effect. And that's where Allah Azza wa Jal's, doors of acceptance and accepting whatever you want from Him is going to open. So I'm going to say to you guys, we've gone through about almost 2/3 of these names now. By now you must have found a name or something that really touches you in terms of that's what I need. Okay, like maybe you need, maybe you're hard-hearted, you need rahmah, you need mercy, so Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Maybe you need, maybe it might be, it might be the fact that you've got your enemies that are really bugging you and bothering you, And then you've got the word, you've got the ism, or you've got the name Ya Qahar, or Ya Ghalib. Ghalib is another one that you can use, okay, which has been mentioned in the Quran. Ghalib is the one who dominates. Okay, so Ya Ghalibu, Ya Ghalib. Anyway, you combine it with all of these things that I've just said, just two things. One is istighfar, one is seeking forgiveness, and one is sending excessive salawat on the Prophet. No, both simultaneous. Okay, so excessive istighfar and excessive salawat on the Prophet. And both of them with your dua in the middle are going to make it very powerful. And please try this, try it. It's been, it's one of those things that if you, only when you try you can see the effects of it. But you've got to carry on, okay? Just carry on saying them and say it from your heart. Inshallah, Allah will open His doors for you. Okay, so we come to the next set of names. So we've got these names in a dual kind of way. So we've got Al-Mubdi, Al-Mu'id, the one who begins and starts and originates things, and the one who brings them back to where they were. Al-Mu'id. So Al-Mubdi is that he starts it, and Al-Mu'id is that he's going to bring it back where it was, or where it should be. So brings it back. So for example, Allah created us, Al-Mubdi. He gave us a start to our lives. Al-Mu'id, for the day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jalla is going to bring us, or let's just say after our deaths, Allah is going to Mu'id, meaning He's going to bring us back again. Bring us back to life again, or bring us back again to being existent. Al-Mubdi, Allah has created the, Allahu yabda'ul khalqa thumma yu'idu. In the Quran it says, Allah starts the creation and then He brings it back again. So what does it mean by start? This start is not a way that there was some elements there and from that Allah started things. No. This means when it's ibda means there was nothing there whatsoever beforehand, and Allah as well made a complete beginning for something, for one of His creation. Complete beginning. So all this evolution theory, it kind of makes you feel that okay, from this came that, from that. We do know that from certain elements did come, and we don't deny evolution totally. But to say that the whole of this existence came from absolutely nothing, that we can't agree to. And there are many things Allah starts where there was nothing before it. Okay, that's our belief. We don't have to believe that things come from a matter that was already there. We believe that if Allah wants to create something out of nothing at all, He can do it. I mean, look at the birth of Isa alayhi salatu salam. Okay, no, there's no way that baby can be born without Maryam radiallahu anha, without her touching a man. But Allah makes it happen. Okay, Adam alayhi salam, his creation, from nothing, absolutely nothing. And Allahu yabda'u, He's the one who originates things, and He will bring it back again. Now the next two names give even more clarity, which is Al-Muhyi, Al-Mumit. Allah Azza wa Jal is the one who gives life, and Allah is the one who takes life. Allah gives life, and Allah causes death. Okay, so now life is something that we have right now. That life, that energy is something that, if only we would wake up to understand that life that we've got is all connected to Allah. Let's just say there was a kite on a day when it's nice and windy, and the kite has now reached maybe 100 meters or something, or 200 meters in the air, right? So the kite's flying pretty high, and there's a person at the bottom obviously controlling the kite. Now if that kite at the top, as it's moving and dancing in the sky, feels that, I can just dance and I can carry on, I don't need to be tied down, I don't need a string on my back that is tying me down. So wish that string would be cut off, and I don't need any of that, I can just fly. What would happen to that kite? We know straight at the moment you cut that string and there's fast winds up there, that kite is going to fly, but it's going to fly to its destruction, and it's going to fly maybe to some trees, and it's going to get tangled up, and that's the end of it flying freely in the air. As long as it had a string to the one who was controlling it, then the kite was able to fly because it has this connection to the one controlling it. Now, as long as we have our minds connected to our Creator, we function very well. The moment you cut this mind from that Creator, and the moment we feel that, you know what, I can do everything on my own, I don't need no Creator. The moment the mind thinks like that, or the human thinks like that, well, that's the end of it. Now, our life, our breathing, okay, everything that we've got, it comes from that connection from Allah. Meaning that if Allah's power wasn't here, like He's muhyi. Every moment we're living, Allah is doing ihya. He is keeping us alive. And there's a moment when Allah's going to bring that all to an end, because nothing lasts in this world. My friend, think about it. Nothing, absolutely nothing will last on this earth or in this earth. Nothing. Okay, right down to your buildings. I mean, think about it. The country that you're in right now, how many civilizations have passed before you? How many eras, how many centuries, how many millennia have passed where there was a complete different set of people with a complete different agenda, idea, culture, civilization, whatever it was, and they've been completely replaced by us, these modern human beings that have got these gadgets in their hands and electricity, you know, and whatnot on the earth, and they kind of, you know, satellites floating around the earth, and they are civilizing the earth right now. I mean, what's it going to take for us to be replaced? Nothing. Nothing. Within, let's just say, a few hundred years, there could be another group of human beings that have got way more advanced things than what we've got, and we were really the old people who started things off, all right? But they could be way advanced. Who knows what they might be? But the point is this, that everything's going to come to an end. Every civilization comes to an end. Every part of whatever you've known comes to an end. Houses come to an end, right? You know, furniture comes to an end. What doesn't come to an end? Humans come to an end. Trees come to an end. Animals come to an end. Life comes to an end, right? The only things we've got left is for the moon and the sun and the actual earth to come to an end, and that is going to be the destruction Allah is going to bring at Judgment Day. And that's our belief. And that's all going to come to an end. So what are you fighting for today? What is occupying you so much that you become so busy that you haven't got time for Allah Azza wa Jalla? That the one who gives us life every moment, look, my breathing, my life. I mean, our hearts go out to all those people who've been affected or who were affected with the COVID, the COVID-19. But if you think about it, that breathing becomes the fact that they find it difficult to breathe when they're affected with COVID-19. When they can't breathe, then I'm sure anyone who's listening to this who's survived COVID would say to you that, you know what, breathing becomes the biggest gift or biggest freedom and biggest comfort that you had, which you never even thought about. Think about it. That breathing, that it comes as a result of us being alive, and that for us to be alive, we're connected to Al-Muhyi, the one who gives us life. And any moment Allah wants that breathing to stop, it stops. It's just a moment of seconds, or maybe split second, and it can stop. So Al-Muhyi, he gives life. Al-Mumid, he causes death, and he's going to carry on doing that until a day comes when he will cause death to the sun, meaning that he'll bring the life of the sun to the end. He'll bring the life of the entire universe and all its planets and stars and everything that we see around it to an end. And then he brings up, right? What does he bring up? He creates the sun again. But this time, this is the day of judgment, but this time it's going to have the heat, but no light. And it's going to come above people's heads. And the earth that we've got, that we see soil, he creates a flat piece of earth that has light. So the light comes from beneath us on the day of judgment. وَأَشْرَقَتِ الْأَرْضُ بِنُورِ رَبِّهَا. From the light of Allah Azza wa Jal, he's going to light the earth. And the sun has no light, but it has heat. And on that day, Al-Muhyi, he brings back up again what? The humans and the jinn. That's what he brings back up, because he wasn't interested in all the other things that we had. This system that we've got where we can earn money, we can do things, we can enjoy, we can laugh. All these things are a comfort and a joy that we're going to use for a little while, and that's it. After that, they're gone. Okay, they are gone. Everything will come to an end. I mean, I had someone tell me the other day that they had a family member pass away, and I said, look, my friend, you have to understand that your father that passed away, he wasn't yours. He was always Allah's. And Allah borrowed your father to the earth for a short time. And then Allah has decided to take back whatever he borrowed. Whatever he loaned out, he took back again. And Allah has given you as a loan to your family members, that they can benefit from you and your time, your children right now, and your wife and your friends and family and whoever's there. You are loaned out, and you're going to be taken back by Allah. So we shouldn't start with this mentality that we are from here and then, oh my God, I've lost my father. Oh my God, my father's gone. My mother's gone. Oh my God. And we cry. Yes, we get very emotional. And I'm not saying you can't get emotion. You can get emotion. Just don't become hysterical and don't say anything against the will of Allah. But when we get emotional, remember and always keep this in mind. We're all borrowed. We're all on borrowed time. We're all borrowed to this earth, to one another. We're all loaned out. Who are we? What are we? Nothing whatsoever. And there comes a time when Allah Azza wa Jalla decides, well, I'm going to take you back. So we're all going back. So we started from the Akhirah, okay? And we come back to, we started from the Akhirah, and we go back to the Akhirah. And that was always our beginning and our end. That was always our beginning and our end. That's where we came, where we started from the Akhirah. So we go back to the Akhirah. That's our destination. That's our home. That's where we belong. Okay, so don't start off with the, it's really harsh on yourself to think that this is my world, this is everything. We've made ourselves so comfortable here, and we've got all these things around us that we kind of feel that this is home, and we don't want to lose this home and go somewhere. No, this is not home. This is a temporary stop by. Home is the Akhirah. That's where we came from, and that's where we're going back, and that's where we're all going back. Our father Adam alayhi salatu salam, he came from Jannah. That was his home. That's where he was. He was created and put straight into Jannah. That was his home. And when Hawa alayhi salam, when she was created, that was her home. That was their home. That was everything they knew. That was the origin. That was the perfect place for the human being. That's where no wrong can happen. That's where they started. Okay, and then they came to this earth, which was an alien place, which was a place they never wanted to be in, which was a place where now suddenly they've got cold, they've got hunger, they've got too much heat, they've got uncomfortable situations, they've got things that distress them, and they've got to give birth to children, and so on and so forth. All of this happened here, and this was a very, very hostile place and very uncomfortable, and a place where a lot of discomfort was created, because Allah Azza wa Jal, he never made this place for the human beings. He never made this place for the human beings. The place for human beings is Jannah, and that's where we're going back, and that's where we should look forward to. So Al-Muhyi, Al-Mumid, Al-Hayy and Al-Qayyum. We come to these next two names, which is Allah is ever living, Al-Hayy and Al-Qayyum. Allah is the one that keeps everything, moving on, and he sustains everything. So not only is Allah ever living, when we say ever living, he never had a beginning, obviously. He doesn't have an end, but he is always existent. Always existent. Now, for us, this might be quite difficult to understand, because our whole mindset goes through time. Time is a creation of Allah. Past is a creation of Allah. Future is a creation of Allah. and all this time moving along is a creation of Allah. Allah doesn't live within time. Allah is independent from time. And this time thing is a whole creation of Allah. So for us to understand, what was there before Allah, what was there before, this all wasawis from the shaitan, because it's actually a question that doesn't even apply to Allah. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jal, He created that time. This was something that He made for us to live in, so that we could have this thing of, okay, you may live till 60 years or 70 years. After that, you pop out, somebody else pops into the dunya, somebody else goes, somebody else comes. And this whole thing about time that Allah created is for us to be tested. This whole realm of time is for us to be tested. But Allah is beyond that. He is independent of all of that. He doesn't live and has never lived within anything called time. Now, when we get out of this time, meaning when we get to the Day of Judgment, obviously time is not going to tick anymore. We're all going to be in that eternal kind of life. So when we get there, we'll understand what it is about Allah being Al-Hayy, ever living, never moves along with time and so on. We'll understand that. But for now, our belief is Allah is Al-Hayy. He is existent, and He's always been existent, and He will always be existent. And Al-Qayyum, at the same time, while He is there being existent, He not only has created what He's created, but He makes all of these different things, okay, from the heavens and the earth, He makes them run. So, for example, the moon, for the moon to move, that's Al-Qayyum at work. Okay, He keeps everything in function. That is Al-Qayyum. To make the sun do what it does, to make all the stars orbit what they, as they do, to make the night and day be created. All of this is from Al-Qayyum. He sustains and He runs all of this. He manages all of this. He governs all of this. He makes it work as it should work. Okay, even in our bodies, Al-Qayyum, the one who's Al-Qayyum is the one who keeps everything running after He's created it. Now, the beautiful thing about these two names, Al-Hayy and Al-Qayyum, in quite a few narrations is that Rasulullah ﷺ has actually identified them as being those names that once you call Allah by these names, then whatever dua you're going to make, Allah will accept it. إِذَا دُعِيَ بِهِ, when He's called by these names, then Allah Azza wa Jalla, He will accept the dua that you're making. And when you're asking Allah for some protection, He will provide you the protection. Okay, so this comes from His names Al-Hayy, Al-Qayyum. So what we want to do is we want to call Allah by saying Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum. So any dua you're making, look, one of the duas found in Sahih Muslim related to this is Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum bi rahmatika astaghith. O one who is ever living, O one who is sustaining and running everything, through your mercy, I am beseeching you for help. Just through your mercy, I am beseeching you for help. Birahmatika astaghith. Now, this beautiful dua, now just mention it again and again. Even if you can't remember the Birahmatika astaghith, I'm sure you can remember Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum. Okay. Now, what you can also do is you can combine between whatever du'as. You remember in the first 5 minutes of this session where I said to you about you saying something like Ya Razzaqu, and then combining with istighfar and salawat and Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now and again say Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, because it's been identified as names which if you call upon Allah through these names, then your du'as will be accepted. And again, look, the conditions are there, that our heart is attached to Allah, that Allah wants to give us those things, because sometimes Allah doesn't want to give us those things. Allah wants to give us something better. Okay, or Allah wants to give us reward instead, or Allah wants to save us from a calamity instead. This is all according to a hadith in Ahmad. You don't have to receive what you ask Allah for. Allah can give you something better. It's like a child asking parents, saying, give me this, give me that. Now the parents might have given, one sweet and another sweet, and then the parents don't want to give any more sweets because the child's going to get spoiled. The child's teeth are going to get spoiled. The child will end up with a stomachache. So the parents don't want to give a sweet, but the child is saying, give me a sweet, give me a sweet, give me a sweet. And the parents might give different things that are, sweet, but they're not as same as a sweet that's got a lot of sugar inside. They might give other things, or they might respond to the child in a different way. So according to the hadith in Ahmad, Either Allah gives you what you're asking for, or He gives you reward instead, which is still good, or He's going to save us from something or calamity that, you know, we didn't think of, we didn't even know. Allah saves us from that calamity. Whichever way, we never lose. So call Allah through these names. Now, just before we end this session, I'm going to say to you, mashallah, alhamdulillah, again, a wonderful, massive thanks to all of you who've joined either the Badr 313, which was the first one that we asked everyone to join. Whether you've joined that one and you're still collecting the £313 from different individuals in Ramadan, that's just your target. May Allah bless you. Or you've joined this one, which is for you to have regular sadaqah going out. And look, guys, the last 10 nights is going to be here like in a week's time. Okay, so take the opportunity of you know, what we say is that we can do all these actions, but to do an action that is so small and is so great in reward is phenomenal. No, just don't miss out. You don't have to give sadaqah every day of Ramadan. You can just give it just for the last 10 nights. We don't know which one of these 10 nights is going to be Laylatul Qadr. So what you can do, you can go, you can register right now with the link that comes with this video. It's on the screen, by the way. And what you can do is you can then just put whatever amount you want, and you're guaranteed a Laylatul Qadr, inshallah. You're guaranteed that whatever money you give is times by 1,000 months of giving the same amount, which I said to you, $1 will be $2.1 million on that one night. Okay, may Allah Azza wa Jalla bless us, and do this right now, guys. Jazakumullah khair. May Allah bless all of you. My du'as are with you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi